Nation, we are back. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Coffee and Convo special edition. I got my brother, Big Mike Raider.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you feeling, brother?
Man, I was good before the Christian Wilkins thing came up, and then kind of figured out what was going on with the whole thing, and then I was like, all right, I'm cool. So, yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything's good, man.
Well, I definitely want to get your entire take on this whole situation. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys wipe them feet, like the thumbs, like my brother Big Mike says. And real quick, if we can do this, you guys, jump over to my brother Big Mike Raider's channel. If one of the mods can put the link in the comment section, let's get to 3,000 today. There is no reason why we cannot get to 3,000 subscribers this year, man. We're going to be putting a lot behind Big Mike's channel. We know that he's going to be active, man. So make sure you guys support one of ShieldMore's own. Our brother, phenomenal football IQ, does great film breakdown and just a great chill dude in real life. So make sure you guys go subscribe to my guy, man. Real talk, man. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about camp. There's a lot that went on over there today. Aiden was looking good. Gino was looking good. There was a few picks out there that I want to talk about. Brock out there shining. Ashton Genty. I'm hearing so many great things about our rookie that we took at number 6 in this year's draft class. But before we get there, yesterday the news broke. The Raiders released Christian Wilkins. Kind of took Raider Nation by storm yesterday. Big Mike, me and Waster were live. We're live yesterday. Salute to my brother Waster. He's in the chat as well. But yesterday, man, the Raiders just said, you know what? If you don't want to get this second surgery, we're moving on from you. We cut ties after 4 or 5 games. He signed a 5-year, $110 million contract. Didn't get an opportunity to really see what he can do with this defense, which is a shame, right? But former regime, Tom Telesco brought him in, doesn't have any ties to John Spytek, Pete Carroll, and the new guys in the building. I wanted to put this out there real quick because the Athletics, Diana Rossini, put an interesting tweet out there because there's already teams potentially looking at Christian Wilkins now as he is a free agent, right? New England being one of them, which would be hilarious if we actually faced them week 1. That would be funny to see him. You know what I mean? But she put a tweet out there that said she spoke to one head coach, anonymous head coach out there, and said that if he's not healthy enough to play for the Raiders, something must not be right. And mind you, I kind of felt like that was a slight a little bit. It kind of sounded like there was kind of like a little –
right, yeah.
I mean, to the Raiders, like if he's not good enough to play for the Raiders or healthy enough to play for the Raiders, something must not be right. So it looks as though other teams are really questioning what the hell is going on with this situation. We did void the remaining $35.2 million in guaranteed money. He did, go out there and file a grievance against the Raiders. So he's going to fight for it with the NFLPA on his side. But what is your take on this situation? Do you think that Spytek and them made the right decision moving on from Christian Wilkins? Because once again, Big Mike, we talked about the video. We played it a million times already with him dancing in the headquarters. Do you think that was one of the signs of the Raiders just thinking, you know what, we got to move on from this guy? They gave him a window to sign off on that second surgery. Apparently, he didn't want to do it. I guess he thinks he's healthy enough to play right now. What's your whole take on this situation?
I would say the video is more optics for us, in the public, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you said it yourself on previous, a couple of days ago when this came out, like, hey, you good enough to play then. You close to playing. You got the boot off, you in Crocs. You know what I mean? In sport mode, you dancing around. We're gonna see you soon, right?
Yeah.
That's the optics for us on the outside looking in. Now, I would say, what was going on behind the scenes? You know, was he coming in, strolling along, playing around, you know, half-ass putting on a boot one day and not putting on a boot another day? Like, was that happening, you know, behind the scenes? And then, you know, maybe the GM, the front office was like, I've had enough. I've had enough. But I will say this, bro, and this is for all the people who are moaning and complaining about same old Raiders, this and that. Look, man, you are the same people to say there's nobody bigger than the Shield, right? Everybody says you're not bigger than the Shield.
Mike, talk.
Right? Okay, so we did it. He's not bigger than the Shield. He's out of this building. He don't want to play. He don't want to take, you know, the rehab seriously and all that stuff. Okay, well, you're out of the building. So keep that same energy, people who are saying that, hey, you're not bigger than the Shield. Nobody's bigger than the Shield. Christian Wilkins, as good as he is when healthy, he's not bigger than the Shield. So peace. You know, if you don't want to play for the Raiders, you don't want to be down what's going on with Pete Carroll, I say kick rocks. It's time to go, and we'll move on from that.
Simple and plain. And I love what the Raiders put out there on Twitter as well. They addressed Raider Nation through the media on Instagram and Twitter. We read this yesterday, but I want to run this back for those who didn't get a chance to see the show. The Raiders wrote, "We have decided that it is our best interest of the organization to move on from Christian Wilkins, and he has been informed of his release from the team. This franchise has a commitment to excellence on and off the field with no clear path or future to return to play for Christian. This transaction is necessary for the entire organization to move forward and prepare for the new season." And I just got done watching the presser. Pete Carroll was asked about it pretty quick, and he pretty much just said the same thing. Like, look, what it wasn't going to play. We chose to move on. Simple and plain. It sounds exactly like what Pete said at the presser today. So
very consistent.
Yeah, and you know what's the dope thing about this though, Mike, is that I love is the energy didn't change. Everybody was out there today. Now that Christian Wilkins is no longer on this roster, we were 100% out there today. Everybody was healthy. Everybody was good to go. I know Jermaine Pratt wasn't on the field the entire time, and we'll go over that here in a second as well. But I don't think it's anything to be worried about. But hey man, if you're not bought in, once again, and I said this on yesterday's show, Max during the presser, these guys took this off season very serious, very personal. Malcolm Kuntz getting back healthy, JPJ losing all that weight, adding muscle, Tyree Wilson working on his footwork, and all these other guys, Sincere working his ass off in the offseason, getting second team reps. Aiden O'Connell looks phenomenal, like he's in phenomenal shape. Look at Gino.
Completely different. Yeah, Gino
is yoked. You know what I'm saying? So all these guys are completely bought in. And if you're not willing to, be bought into what we're trying to do, you just got to move on. It is what it is. And I like what Kenny Clark said a lot. That's another guy we're going to talk about today for sure. Like Laulu is the guy. I think that's what you meant to say, Kenny. That's the guy that I'm hearing great things. He was getting first team reps today at the nose tackle position. So it looks like he may be slotted in right next to Adam Butler there on the defensive line in the interior. What are your thoughts about Jonah Laulu? He's a guy that's interesting. He was cut, I believe, by the Indianapolis Colts his rookie season. He came over. He got some real live bullets with us last year. He looked pretty good, Mike. And what Max said it the other day, he does not know how good he is yet. That's high praise from a guy of Max Crosby's stature. Do you think that this guy can be the guy that could potentially take over that spot and run it for the Raiders on that defensive tackle position?
I would say he was, at the nose especially, and I see that, towards the end of the season, he was a big bright spot for that defense. It wasn't many to look at, but he was one of them. Adam Butler was another. And they kind of really complemented each other, right? Yeah. One would do the dirty work, the other one would clean up. And you would see that kind of that 1-2 punch. They kind of work well together as far as that goes. Yeah. Now, if you got Adam Butler at the 3 and Laulu, I don't know how to say it at the 1.
Laulu.
Laulu, at the 1, then bro, they work well together. I would love to see that, build, especially under Patrick Graham. This is the same similar defense. So you don't have to readjust or things like that. So he's only going to get better, man. I'm cool with it, man. This is a bright spot right here. Yeah.
Rob Leonard, man, looked excited out there today working with that defensive line at training camp. Laulu, man, is a guy that was durable for us last year. His rookie season, played in 17 games. He started in 7, 3 passes defensed. He also had a sack to go along with 35 combined tackles, 15 solo, 20 assists, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 QB hits. You know what I mean? That is not those are good numbers for a guy that we didn't expect to see play at all for his last season. And this was a guy we didn't even know if he was going to actually be on the active roster like that. You know what I mean? So to see him out there already moving and shaking and getting those starting reps at the nose, I'm excited to see what this dude can do. Yeah.
Can I get my trench talk in, man?
Talk.
All right. So, a lot of those things that Trench is doing, the 3 and the 1, is not necessarily, it doesn't show on paper. It doesn't show in the stat sheet, right? Yeah. And when you got savvy linebackers behind you and you just in there filling gaps, taking on double teams, doing the dirty work, doing things that aren't necessarily, maybe PFF is watching because they'll get some weird grade, whatever. I digress, right? But, the linebackers behind you, they come in and fill those gaps and they make the linebackers look better. Laulu and Adam Butler are those type of D tackles that are going to make your linebackers look better. So I'm cool with it, man. Everybody doing their job and doing a role and really sticking to it, man. I'm excited, man.
What's your thoughts about Jamal Adams completely moving over to linebacker? Since he's been a Raider in training camp, he's been a linebacker at this point.
Yeah, it's a long time coming.
Yeah,
it's been a long time coming. I think he's great at the wheel. I said that when we picked him up, like he's going to be a wheel guy, a guy we put at the wheel, or you put him in a big nickel situation. When we're in that 4-2, 4-2-5 look, right? Maybe put him in that slot out.
We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Put him in the slot where the slot will usually be, and put a third safety / linebacker in there. So you got a 4-3 kind of look, but it's really that 4-2 with a big nickel. So, it's going to be exciting to see with Jamal Adams if he can stay healthy. That's the most important thing with him. He's got to stay healthy. But I think, the stuff that we saw him, doing the footwork and coverage and things like that before he got signed with the Raiders, he looked pretty good so far. So
he did. Yeah. I mean, he was out there, I believe. I don't know where he was, but he's still 29 years old. That film he put out there, he looked pretty quick. Well, I'm not expecting anything from him in coverage at this point. We already know what that is. But once again, if you're playing close to the line of scrimmage, man, we might be able to, get the last whatever Jamal Adams has left in the tank. I think that Pete Carroll can bring that out of him. Man, salute to Justin Churchill, my guy, writer over at A to Z Sports, I believe. Salute to my guy covering the Sooners now. Laulu was a space eater in college. His presence isn't seen on the stat sheet. And Big Mike pretty much just said the same thing.
Telling you, man. And that was the first thing I saw when we saw him play last year.
Yeah. And Justin also went on to say 10 pressures and 224 pass rush snaps for an interior. And his role is great. This is facts. Facts. So to my guy Hug on the $10 smackaroony, man. Look, fans, you got to trust Robbie Leonard was fine with the move and will coach up Butler. Tyree and the rookies, this D-line will get after it or Max will whoop some ass. He's on demon time. Salute to my guy Hug in the building.
I will add this, kind of just looking at a bigger picture, right? We know Patrick Graham is probably gone after the season. He should be a head coach somewhere, right? But the next guy coming up is Robbie Leonard. Maybe he's a guy that's, we looking at as that defensive coordinator next year and building what we already have. So, coaching this D-line and getting them, getting guys that believe and buy into what we're doing, that's exactly what we need right now.
Agreed. We went over our depth last night at the defensive tackle position. What's your take right now, Big Mike, on the position? Do you think that we should potentially go out and add another body? There's a ton of defensive tackles left in free agency at this point. We did have Q come in the other day, Quentin Jefferson, former Raider, left without a deal. It still can make sense to bring him back. We might double back and see if that makes any sense. He did play in Seattle before, and once again, he played in Vegas. He's 32. I believe he'll be 33 this year. Still has a little something left in the tank here, but it's so weird to see. I was just saying this behind the scenes, Christian Wilkins available here. It's weird. But is there any guys on this list that you would take a look at, like potentially Maurice Hurst, former Raider, Michigan guy? He's available. He's still 30 years old, 7-year vet. He kind of, I don't want to say he reminds me of Wilkins because Wilkins is a much better football player. But in terms of skill set, he's a guy that can play the run and get to the quarterback sparingly. I wouldn't be upset to kind of have a full circle moment and bring back Mo. And nothing against that. But is there any names that kind of catch your eye here?
Man, when I went over this kind of myself, like if we were going to find somebody to fill in for Christian Wilkins, Quentin Jefferson was one, Maurice Hurst was two, just because of familiarity. Another one, and I know that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree, but a guy like Linval Joseph, somebody that is bringing, like, maybe you get a 1 year, you know, give you the best you got in this situation. He's almost 37, but you know, we see a guy like what's the guy who went to Arizona right now?
Campbell, Calais.
Yeah, Calais Campbell. You know, he's still doing his thing. You know, maybe you can kind of replicate what's going on over there and get that 1 year, you know, last kind of ditch effort in his twilight of his career and get something special for this 1 year. I would bring him in for a workout if he's willing to, right? That would be something that I'm looking at. And then you got a guy like another guy, Kyle Pecco. I mean, I don't know if that's a thing that you want to go.
Former Raider, great, right?
Yeah, former Raider, great. And then you got a youngster, kind of young as Raekwon Davis.
Yes,
you know, with Indianapolis, and that's a guy that you can keep him for a couple years. He seems to be in the prime of his career at 28. You would assume, right?
I was so high on him coming out of college, man.
Me too.
Worked out.
Yeah, so maybe you can kind of bring in a spark, and we brought in another guy, in Antonio Mafi on the other side of the ball. That we're looking for him to kind of revive his career. So maybe it's one of these places where, you know, under Pete Carroll, you can get the best out of guys who, you know, and elsewhere it just didn't work out. So maybe a guy like Raekwon Davis does work out for you. I'm
not mad about that at all. I think that if they do circle back, I think it will be Q. You know, they brought him in already. He's familiar with what Pete Carroll does. Played in Seattle, played for the Raiders. There's a ton of familiarity there. He played with Max. You know what I'm saying? He was there with Kuntz, was in the building as well. So there's a ton of familiarity. If I'm going to make a move, I definitely would kind of go the youth movement a little bit with Raekwon Davis, even though he will be 28. That would make sense, but familiarity is key. I think that this late in the game, training camp already here, you're already like 3 or 4 days in.
Right.
Bring a guy like Quentin Jefferson in, who's still pretty productive at this late in the game. So I'm not against that. Salute to P. Diggity. Salute to my guy becoming a member as well. If you guys want to become members, we both have memberships, man. Make sure you guys hit the links up top. They're pinned up there. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at ShieldMore, man. Appreciate you, Diggity, man. Welcome. I don't know what side of things it is, but we don't care. We just appreciate you so much. Salute to Green Dot Gang. And Big Mike, you got a name for him?
What, for the membership? Oh, the Big Mike Raider Fleet. Welcome to the fleet, man. You know, I'm a former Navy guy, and, you know, got the Wasted Talent Army. We don't do the Army on my side. We talking about the Navy. So welcome to the fleet in advance, man. Appreciate y'all.
Salute Raekwon, 6'7", 300 pounds. Yes, man. I mean, look, the measurables was never an issue. I mean, the size was never an issue. It's just putting it all together. You know what I'm saying? And he just has not really done that at the NFL level. Where was he drafted? Big Mike, was it Miami?
Yeah, I think it was Miami.
I think it was Miami, right?
Yeah.
I think he's on his third team. Let me see. Raekwon Davis. I'm gonna check that out real quick. While I do this, man, make sure you guys wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that. Yes, he played in Miami from 2020 to 2023, and then played last year for the Indianapolis Colts. Played in all 17 games. Didn't start in any. And yeah, man, there really wasn't a ton of stats there to even look at. So I don't know if he dealt with an injury. I didn't really pay too much attention to the Colts last season. I'm not even gonna lie. But looking at the history of what he's done so far since 2020, he's been pretty durable. He's played in a ton of ball games, so I wouldn't have an issue bringing him in. But looking at this list, man, it's not the sexiest list, Big Mike. Honestly, bro, if you're not going to bring in Q or one of the guys that we mentioned, to be real, just run with what we have. What do you think about what we have in that building already at the defensive tackle position? You know, we bring in Lecky Fotu, a veteran, former Jet, former Cardinal, Bay Area guy. You know, Jonah Laulu, we just talked about him. You bring in JJ Pegues, a guy who is a versatile weapon. You can even line him up in the backfield on the offensive side of the football. You bring in Tonka Hemingway, a guy that I don't think too many people are talking about. You know, when you watch his tape, I'm actually interested to see what this dude can do this upcoming season. And then, you know, the usual suspects. Tyree is going to play a ton in the interior of that defensive line. He's already done it at training camp early. So they've been kicking him in, kicking him out. He got a sack, which would have been a sack on Geno Smith yesterday from the interior of that defensive line. So that's a good sign. You know, with that bull rush, you know, that was never an issue. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. It was a secondary move we was looking for.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
But
what we were looking for.
What's your take with what we have in the building right now, and how do you feel about that defensive line with Christian Wilkins no longer in the picture?
Well, we got younger. That's really what it is, man. And that could be a good thing, right? Like, you know, especially with guys like Hemingway and Pegues. Oh, shit.
Hey,
anyway.
Hey, yo.
I've heard that enough, man. But yeah, shout out to you with the $2 haymaker, man. I appreciate you, man.
Oh my God,
man. But you know, I've heard that, you know, Tonka Hemingway is a guy that kind of fits what we want to do as far as being versatile, right? Yes. A guy that you can put in the 3, even at the 0 to 3, basically. He can move around and do some things. Pegues is super athletic. You can do some.
He played on the edge too. I think Tonka played on the edge as well.
He also played on the edge for a little bit. Yeah. So, you know, this is kind of almost an addition by subtraction. You get a little bit younger. These are the guys that are buying in, and that's how you win games, man. It's not necessarily the stars in football, right? This isn't the NBA where you need a bunch of stars to win football games. If you just got a bunch of guys 1 to 53 that can buy into what you're doing, good coaching, just actually having an identity, that really makes a difference.
Definitely. What is your take thus far? Everything that we're hearing about Tyree at this point is great. I'm hearing, you know, really good things from him at training camp, really good things about the offseason. You know, Max has spoke about him. I've seen some of the other coaches speak about him in the offseason. What is your expectations with him this year? Year 3 is the year you got to kind of turn that corner, and we're expecting big things from. This is the year that we either pick up the 50 option here in the near future or we don't. And if you don't, more than likely we're going to move on from him, right? So, I mean, what's your take and what's your expectations with him moving forward?
Do you ever get like a weird feeling sometimes with Tyree Wilson? It's very similar to Cleveland Farrell's career, how it went with us. A guy that was like slated for the edge, and then he kind of moved slowly into the inside, and then it didn't work out. Like I'm starting to get that gut feeling, and I'm not trying to put no jinx on him, right? Like I really think that this is where he should have been, right? He should have been in this position, playing at least at the 3, right? And
at least,
and in an obvious rushing downs, maybe first down, maybe you do have him on the edge to kind of set the edge and stop the run, right? In certain situations. I like what I see from him, but we haven't had pads on yet. I want to see a secondary move. I gotta see a secondary move, and a guy that at his stature, who is 6'6", super athletic, super strong. You worry about pad level with him, especially on the interior. So if he is going to play in the interior, you're kind of hoping, he can anchor down and keep those pads low, or else he's going to get washed to the 3rd row. So that's my concern from him, but we'll see in the preseason. I got to see a secondary move, like I said, but so far so good, man.
Salute to my 2 cents on the $5 smackaroonie. We appreciate you, my brother, so much. Salute to Gio as well on the $5. It sucks it didn't work out because he's a good player, but we're really not missing out. He barely played for us. I'm good on the class clown shit anyway, man. Salute to my guy Gio on the $5 special. And yeah, man, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because, eventually Max was at the presser yesterday, some of those guys, and they're going to be asked about him here soon. It's going to be interesting to see what their thoughts on this move is, because I know I hope that Max isn't like, oh my God, this is such another Raider move, right?
Yeah, I hope not, man.
But once again, great organizations cut their losses early. They don't sit around and wait to see what. I had to put somebody in their place on Twitter. I'm like, they called us a bad organization, because I'm like, no, a bad organization would allow this guy to get paid and stay on this roster. Right. Like, if you see enough, move on from it. You know what I mean? Right. Like, look, bro, we watched Al pull the trigger too quick growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Al would be like, oh yeah, dog, you out of here, bro. Like you don't get, there's no strike 2s around here. Al was just strike 1, you're out. You know what I mean? Like, I like this. Once again, Spytech is setting the tone. And then a bunch of people are also saying, oh, this is going to affect us with free agents moving forward and so on and so forth. Why? How? I mean,
why? Because we didn't enable a player to do whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah,
like that's not how it works in the NFL. It shouldn't work out in any organization.
No,
it shouldn't work like that, man. That's not how you win football games.
Not at all, man. I mean, once again, the Raiders did everything right, it sounds like, in regards to trying to get Christian Wilkins available, if not this year, for next year, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But once again, guys are not going to pass up playing in a city like Las Vegas, no state tax, the premier headquarters and just top of the line, everything out there in Las Vegas with this new coaching staff, with Tom Brady in the building. I mean, the lights, the glimmer. We got to stop with this bullshit, you guys. This is not going to stop the Raiders from getting any future free agents at all. But once again, let me say this. I hope that Spytek is not in free agency trying to blow cash anyway. Great teams build to the draft, and then you fill in the gaps with players in free agency that don't cost you an arm and a leg. So
look at, just imagine the other way around. Say if we had Telesco still in the building, I can guarantee you that he's gonna not want to be wrong by signing Christian Wilkins. Yeah. So we would have kept him way longer than than where what he needed to be, right?
Yeah.
And then the same people would have been complaining, oh, well, you saw that there was something wrong with Christian Wilkins and you kept him for too long. That's why we're not blah, blah, blah. It's the same outcome. Like which one? You got to choose a battle, right? Like,
you can never win in this shit, Mike.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy. And I understand that different people have different, concepts of how things need to go and so on and so forth. But I believe, once again, let me not say this team would be way better with Christian Wilkins, you guys. I think Big Mike will agree.
Absolutely.
I think anybody will agree with a healthy Christian Wilkins on this roster. That can be a top 3, top 5 defensive line in the National Football League. But once again, he's not healthy and is not going with the proper protocol to get healthy. Right. He thinks that he's ready to go now. Apparently, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. And he thinks that he can outsmart the medical staff, which is not a smart thing to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, look, he'll probably sign somewhere else for the cheap because all the money that he already got this year, over $20 million. And then he was supposed to be owed, I believe, another 8 from the Raiders this upcoming season. So somebody will pay him a minimum. He'll probably go somewhere, try to play on it, probably re-injure it. God forbid, I don't want to see him get hurt. But then you'll learn your lesson. Some people got to learn the hard way. And Pete and them were not willing to. That's a major investment, Mike. $100 million plus. That's a major investment. You don't want him to go out there and potentially derail the rest of his career by trying to go out there and think that he's good to go when he's not. So once again, we made the right move. Salute to Spytek pulling the trigger early, getting it out the way. And before, in another week or so, we're going to forget about this. It's the Raider way. It's the Raider way. We're going to forget about this. If Jonah Laulu or one of these young guys, the Tonka Hemingways, the JJs, if one of these guys can step up, we're going to forget completely about this whole Christian Wilkins situation. It is what it is. Salute to Ask a Bum, my guy, man. I'm going to have to sue you, brother. Last night's podcast was so fire that it actually burned my house down when I was listening to it. I'm now homeless again. Salute to my guy, Ask a Bum, bro. And he sent me some dope articles about his story. Salute to him, man. Homeless in the Midwest, found a way to overcome it. Now he's helping other homeless people in the Midwest. Dude, Ask a Bum, you are doing God's work, my brother. You are paying it forward. I love to see what you are doing out there. Keep being a great human being and keep showing other people that dealt with the same circumstances that you did that everything can be good one day. Salute to my guy, Ask a Bum. Salute to the Raider as well. Dancing on your injured foot in front of the bosses who obviously feel you need a second surgery is wild. If he's that bold, imagine behind the scenes. Shaking my head.
Absolutely.
I couldn't say it any better than that, man. Salute to the Raider on the $5 special. Salute to my boy DeMarcus Webb. Al would fire you and put you on the Summer Jam screen. Facts. DeMarcus Webb, Hot 97, my brother, for real. Man. Salute the Hug as well. And I'm going to go to this Alexander thing because I want to shut down this as well. Salute to my guy, Alexander Ray. He's always coming through and trolling the comment section. The Trey Hendrickson. We're going to talk about this. Salute to Hug. We all know Max lost his ish when he saw Wilkins and Crocs being Backstreet Boys. Max probably called Spytek himself and was like, tell this clown he better start shopping new teams. Get the F out of here.
Yeah.
Salute to my brother Hug. And, I know Max is close with Wilkins. He had him on the podcast. That's when we first seen him with the boot during the draft process, during the draft. But once again, Max wants guys that are bought in, that are sold on what we're doing. And I think that Max is going to be okay with this. Right now he may be like, damn, we just lost a really good football player. But time heals all wounds. So, we'll be good. Alexander, the thing is, dog, and I think we said this on last night's show as well. Why does everybody keep talking about replacing a defensive tackle with an edge rusher. Like I don't understand why people keep saying Trey Hendrickson and Jadeveon Clowney. Mind you, I think we can use another edge rusher, but you're not going to make a move for a Trey Hendrickson who's over 30 years old that's going to command probably $40 million. He's going to probably try and reset the market again, Big Mike, because Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, right? It makes no sense to spend that kind of money bringing in another defensive end. If you're going to bring a defensive end in, bring in a veteran guy that can be a rotational piece. Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney is not going to cost you an arm and a leg. It makes sense. Yeah. But we're talking about replacing a defensive tackle with an edge rusher. Come on, make it make sense. I want to see what these guys are. I would love adding another edge, but I want to see what a healthy Max, Malcolm, Tyree, because he's going to play some on the edge as well. They like Snowden. It's clear that they brought him back even after the DUI.
I thought he did really well when he was in the
He did. On the field. He did. And then they got Ja Joyner that I'm hearing that they like a lot, the UDFA out of Minnesota. So, we're not going to replace a big ticket guy like Wilkins with another big ticket guy that essentially doesn't really fit a need on this roster. If you're going to bring in an edge rusher, it's going to be a cheap rotational guy like a Jadeveon Clowney or somebody that you can put in on clear passing downs and just that's why I was okay with bringing in Von Miller before he signed with the Commanders.
Yeah.
If it's a clear passing down situation, get Von out there and have him get after the passer. I'm cool with it. But I mean, what's your take on this whole stuff?
It's a knee-jerk reaction if you ever do something like that, right? Like, we lost the guys. We need to get Raider Nation happy again. Let's bring in another guy just for the sake of bringing in somebody else. Like it doesn't make any football sense.
No,
it doesn't make team sense, financial sense.
No.
It across the board. We don't need them. We just don't need them.
Yeah, and once again, man, just because we potentially may have freed up some money, this is going to be a process, you guys. You don't want to go out. You don't want to go out there and just spend it immediately. There's nobody. We can look at this in complete free agent class right now. People who are still available. There's scraps out there, and there's no disrespect to anybody, but a lot of these guys on their last leg in the league. This was not a great free agency class to start with, anyways. So let's hold on to this money. If we're competitive come trade deadline, and there's maybe some veterans out there that are upset with their certain situations in their organizations, then maybe you can make a move, because guess what? SpyTech has the money to do so. Don't spend money just to spend money. Just doesn't make any sense. So the Mavs on a $5 special been really quiet all offseason. Wilkins, you and I both have spoken to the fact that multiple times. Now we know why. Goodbye on the nation. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, man. Look, once again, he didn't say anything. I was kind of waiting to hear from him in a sense. Like, I don't know if his representation was just telling him to be quiet, but I was just waiting for Wilkins. Like, and maybe we get something here soon now that the Raiders moved on from him and he's looking for a job. Watch him be very vocal now about the situation, because a lot of people are painting him as the bad guy in this situation. I'm not painting. I want people to realize this. There's no bad guy in this situation at all. I think the Raiders made the right move for them. If Wilkins thinks he's healthy and he's good to go, then more power to him. This isn't the situation for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against him. Like, if you felt like you could heal on your own, but the doctors are the doctors, man. You got to listen to the doctors. I'm not saying that he's a bad dude for doing what he did. Yeah. It does suck as a Raider fan for all these years, for as long as I've covered this is my third season doing it. Yeah. And in the last 5 years, we can name a bunch of guys who came here, Antonio Brown, Trent Brown. Like, we can name a whole list of guys that came in and just pretty much mailed it in when they got here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I kind of put him on that list because, bro, you didn't really do your due diligence. You didn't follow directions as far as that goes. You would think that you would sacrifice for the sake of the team if you really want to be here. Yes. You know what I mean? He's not a bad dude for not doing it, but at the same time, like, bro, like, as a Raider fan, I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of this whole thing happening like this year after year after year.
Well, the good thing is, I think after this conversation that we have on this show, we don't have to talk about Christian Wilkins anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? I, honestly, unless he goes out there into the media and tries to, shed some light on this situation and put the Raiders in a bad place media-wise, then maybe we'll talk about it, a little later down the line. But I mean, this is it for Christian Wilkins, you guys. Once again, he was never a Raider. He played only 4 or 5 games. We never really got an opportunity to see him in this, what he would look like in this Pete Carroll, Patrick Graham system. So it is what it is. We move on. We keep it moving. You know what I mean? So let's talk a little bit about training camp today, you guys. Salute to Levi Edwards. to Sean Reed, Vinny B, all the guys out there putting out great content with the training camp. I spoke to a few other people behind the scenes, texting and stuff that were out there covering training camp. Pete Carroll today had a presser today, talked about the Jamal Adams situation and switching over to the will linebacker position. This is what Pete had to say. His style of play is so suitable for what we're trying to do here with being aggressive and tough. So Pete has a plan with Jamal Adams. And for him to say that, like, he fits what we're trying to do. I kind of had Jamal Adams maybe not making this roster, but then you see him move to the linebacker position, Mike, and it's like, I think he's going to be here because Pete wants to have a few of his guys in the building. This is a Pete guy. He went and got him from the Jets years ago. I know it didn't really work out in Seattle the way he wanted it to. It's a Pete guy. What are your thoughts about that? We just talked about him, potentially playing that will linebacker spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad, like I said, long time coming for him. Now, for me, as far as the linebackers go as a room, who do you keep?
Yeah.
53 wise. Like, it's loaded now. If you really think about it, it's a loaded, a guy like Jalen Smith, I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to end up making it.
He's the odd man out for sure.
He's the odd man out, and maybe a guy like Lindenberg, maybe you put him on shove him up for the practice squad. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
What happens with Eichenberg? You know?
Him and Ferrari. I don't think they're both going to make this roster. They may have to pick and choose one.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for Ferrari. To be honest with you,
I like them both, but I agree with you. I think Ferrari can be a dog. Right.
So things got real interesting in that linebacker room. That's one thing to watch as the preseason progresses. Who's making this squad? As far as the linebackers go. So
I mean, Jermaine Pratt is a guy that's going to be a starter for you. Landon Roberts isn't going anywhere. He's going to be one of those guys, and they've already spoke about him being one of those leaders on that defensive side of the ball. Devin White is a guy that I'm hearing already really good things about as well. So if he can play up to his baseball card the way, salute to wasted, maybe we can potentially have something with Devin White as well. But one of those guys, Tommy or Ferrari, I think with Jalen Smith, they're going to be the odd man out at the linebacker position, with Lindenberg being placed on the practice squad potentially.
Right. And what's good about the linebackers we do have? They're a little bit older. I wouldn't say long in the tooth, but they're older. They're more seasoned, right?
Yeah.
I heard this from a coach years ago, right? He's like, I made it to college not being the fastest linebacker, but being the most instinctual linebacker. And as you get older, you got to use more of the instincts and more of your brain to get there before, as the play progresses, kind of seeing as it's happening, before it's happening, being in the playbook, being in film.
Seawood at the end of his career, Mike. Seawood.
Exactly.
Move to safety, all this.
All this. Absolutely. We got 3 linebackers that can do that.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Salute to Hug on the $20 smacker Rooney. I've been watching this team for 42 years, longer than most y'all been sucking wind and biting mama's titty. We've been great once and we'll be great. We'll be again very soon. Real coaches work magic. Bad coaches try to cover up inadequacies. That's a great comment, man. Salute to my brother Hug. Yes, salute to you, man, for everything that you do for the channel, my brother. Salute to Hug, the GOAT, mod father himself, my dog. Salute to Soul Assassin, my guy. Can we get Terry with that money? No, there's no reason. They love what they have at the wide receiver position right now. I'm hearing great things about Dante's being a starter day one, Mike. Jack Besh is officially back out there, and I'm hearing good things about him. Trey Tucker had a touchdown today. What are we going to do with Tommy Malott? He was out there working on the jugs machine today. Yeah. So, he's converted to wide receiver from the quarterback position. And I think Kyle Phillips would be a guy that may make this roster as well because of the Chip Kelly connection from UCLA. There's no reason to go out there and pay a 30-year-old wide receiver $30+ million. That is the old Raider way, Soul Assassin. I don't think you need to make that move.
And look at this scenario, right? We signed Terry McLaurin, right? And there's rumors out there we're keeping 4 tight ends. Yeah. So who's gonna get knocked off? A guy like Tommy Malott might have to be shoved to the practice squad. And then he gets picked up by waivers, and then he becomes something special.
I know.
Now you're the same person to talk about. Yeah. Oh, we had Tommy Malott. Now look at him, man. Look at what we did just because we brought in Terry McLaurin at 30 years old. Like,
you're right. We may hold 4 because they're saying that Ishmael and Ian Thomas are both out there fighting for their lives at training camp.
Yeah.
So you got the veteran that came over from Carolina. You got the young. That could be interesting. That could be interesting. We may hold 4, and then try and place Tommy Millott. But once again, remember this, and I said this on a few previous shows, that Spytek was so high on Tommy Millott that he didn't speak about him during the draft process because he didn't want anybody to find him. You know what I mean? So now, you know, with them drafting him in the 6th round, I don't know if they want to potentially play that game of trying to stick him on the practice squad and potentially losing him. So they have him placed as, I believe right now, one of the kick returners. I think him and Dylan are going to be battling it out to return kicks. We'll see, but he's just too good of a football player, man. Like you watch him, he's dynamic. He has the measurables, the speed. You know, I think it's perfect for him to move from quarterback to wide receiver. I've seen a few people asking why move him from quarterback. Bro, at the NFL level, he becomes a quarterback, he'll be non-existent. Nobody remembers him again. He'll never play it down.
Yeah, he's got a better chance being a receiver. If he's a quarterback, you know, everybody wants to see athleticism at quarterback, but can he read playbooks?
Yeah.
Can he break progression? Like, is he a quarterback by nature? Like, you know what I mean? He played quarterback at the D2 level. A D1 AA level, like that's a big difference in the NFL, man. It won't work. It won't work,
man. And that's why I question Cam Miller a ton. You know what I mean? Like I was questioning that pickup there in the 6th round. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's good to hear that Aiden's doing good out there, though. Good to hear that Aiden's doing good out there. They're saying big things about Aiden. He's threw a few touchdowns today. I believe a few yesterday as well. He looks in great shape. It is great to see Aiden out there battling, man. So I may be wrong. I had a hot take that Aiden may get dethroned for that quarterback 2 spot with Cam Miller.
Me too. I said the same thing.
But Aiden's out there cooking with grease right now, man, and you love to see it. So the mutation, the Panthers signed your boy Mello Dotson and waived another Raider in MJ Devonshire. Oh, look at the Carolina Panthers trying to become the South Carolina or North Carolina Raiders.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. I see you. I see you. I hope Melo goes out there and balls out, man. And it sucks to see MJ Devonshire. He was a ball hawk at Pitt. I thought the former 7th round pick could have been something, but he's been kind of bouncing around. I can see the UFL in the near future.
UFL for him. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but
nothing at all.
You know, Mello Dotson has a good shot of making that 53.
Oh, so, definitely. You know. Look, they're a young team over there. They got young on the defensive side of the ball. I can see him potentially putting up big minutes out there with the Panthers for sure. Salute to Alex, man. Appreciate you. I like this membership. I'm privileged. Talk that talk, brother. Well, become a member on both channels, you guys. Hit the links. They're pinned up top if you guys want to become a member. We got 900 people in the building. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. Break them thumbs over at Big Mike's channel. Also, if you guys are new to Big Mike, jump over there and hit that subscribe. Support our brother. He is going to be very active this upcoming season.
Yeah, this is the breakout year, man.
Yeah, this is the 6th member of ShieldMore because Andy's always going to be one. Stu is one. And Big Mike is, you know, that's it. The mountain is full. The mountain is full.
Close the door after they let me in.
Yeah, the door was shut when Big Mike pulled up. So make sure you guys go support one of our own. Salute to 07. I'm not here to roll the dice. I'm here to run the table. Talk that bar shit. Talk, Dwayne. You love it. Salute to Savage. Gifting 5 also. OLV Raiders Network memberships, my brother. Yes, I appreciate you. Savage always comes through and blesses the channel, man. Thank you so much. Salute to all the new members in the building. If you missed out on those, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Ty came through and blessed 5 too. It's good to see Ty. It's good to see Zon in the building. All my guys, Demokes, Mark Coffee. Appreciate you guys for pulling up, man. We appreciate you guys so much. Ty, my dog, love, bro. You already know, man. Ty's our guy in real life.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
In real life. Every time we go out there and kick it in Jersey, it's a wrap. Look, he's
Hug is wheeling and dealing.
You know what happened? He heard us say that the ShieldMore door was closed. And Hug said, huh?
Yeah.
Huh? You sure about that? God, what a banger. Salute to Hug gifting 50 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Holy shit. Wow. My dog, love you, bro. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, man. Salute to all the new members in the building because of my brother Hug.
That's imposter Hug, man. I can't barely recognize him all that weight he lost, man.
For real. It's always good to see our guys taking their health very serious, man. I love it though. You and Andy set the tone, Mike. You guys set the tone, bro.
Yeah, shit. It was Andy first though.
Andy went first. You followed up, and Hug is doing his thing now too. So it looked like the team is getting right, man. You love to see it. Hug, I appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. Coach says I'm supposed to be in ShieldMore. You're supposed to go get another Jamba Juice. That one is old, brother. It is rotten. It stinks. It's filthy, coach. Get a new Jamba Juice, and maybe we could talk about it. Salute to 07 on becoming a member as well. I appreciate you, my brother. It's always good to see Dwayne in the building. My guy and the Nav Man gifted 5 as well. You guys are going absolutely crazy today, man. And salute to my brother Hammer in the building. Our brother Hammer's in the building as well. I know he was live before this doing the presser. It's always good to see my brother active over there at Hammer's house. My guy, man. Get some sleep. I know you got to work 2 jobs today. My dog went out there ripping and running. Salute to you, Nav. I appreciate you as well, man. Gifting 5 of them things. Appreciate you. Let's go over a few more of these tweets, you guys, out there from training camp today. So a few more tidbits from Pete Carroll's presser today. He did mention Max Crosby. He said he's truly the epitome of what we're looking for in this program. This is coming from Levi Edwards' Twitter feed. Salute to him, and he should be on the show very, very soon as well. Salute to my guy Levi Edwards. We're working on some things behind the scenes. Also, Pete Carroll talked about Tyree Wilson. I really think that this is his time. I'm counting on him to do stuff in a big way. I want to ask you, do you think that Tyree in year 3 kind of eased the blow with them moving on from Christian Wilkins? Do you think that that's kind of like we expect him to step up this year at the defensive tackle position and play the edge, so it's kind of easier to kind of move on? I mean, even without all the antics, right? I think they would have moved on from him anyways, but do you think it's just a little easier to digest with Tyree looking like he may turn that corner in year 3?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, because he's just so committed at getting better. Yeah. This is a guy who's always kind of almost shadowing Max Crosby, right? He's always behind him in line. Like you always see when there's 98, number 9 is right behind him. You see that every time. So this is a guy who's committed to being better, right? Yeah. And being surrounded by a guy like Max Crosby is only contagious, right? They say like, you're only as good as the people that you're closest with, right? They say that, right? And I think that if that is the case, Tyree Wilson is going to be, he's going to have a breakout season. I'm really hoping he does, man.
Yeah, facts. Also, man, salute to my guy, Jesse Merrick over at the Silver and Black Sports Network. If you're not following him yet on Twitter, you guys, go give him a follow. He puts out great stuff. He's been out there at training camp covering the Raiders as well. Here's an update on Jermaine Pratt, and this came from Pete Carroll at the presser as well, that he's dealing with a little bit of a tight hamstring. Didn't make it sound serious, so they're just being precautious with him right now, which makes total sense. He's a veteran. He's experienced a ton of training camps up to this point. He mentioned it because they're taking it easy on him to get him to the 5th practice fully healthy. So I don't think there's anything to really worry about when it comes to Jermaine Pratt at this point. Pete Carroll also stressed many times that he's not afraid to play the young guys. With that in mind, you love it, right? He's really stressing getting them opportunities in practice to see them and how they handle that competition. I love it, Big Mike, because this is different from last year, right? Everybody's screaming, yes, Dylan fumbled. Give him another opportunity. Give him another shot. Give him another shot. Like, why not? Why did it take until the back end of the season to see Sincere McCormick? These other guys were not trying to play their young guys. They're playing these veterans. I mean, they even played Gardner Minshew over Aiden O'Connell, which was a terrible decision to make.
That was the worst decision. That was like the ice that topped it off at the beginning of the season when they named Gardner Minshew. I was like, this is going to be a long season.
Facts.
I really wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of the signing.
No.
I crashed out.
Yeah, I remember that. Look, I just thought it was a veteran guy that was going to come in and be a backup. I'm like,
that's what I thought too.
So I wasn't stressing about. I'm like, hey, man, it's cool. Pick up, whatever. He's not going to play. And once again, he becomes a starter. And outside of that Baltimore game, we just completely shit the bed. Right. So it was nasty, nasty work. Salute to my brother LV Maximus in the building, the head of security of Mount ShieldMore. My God,
we got to get a shirt made from him, man.
He's right too. He said, "Old man, like, yep, you've been in the gym too. You've been in the LV he put in that.
The team is slimming up, man. I'm telling you,
bro.
Man.
Yeah, bro. Hey. Salute to 10 Commandments. Is this really a surprise about Wilkins? None of the current administration had anything to do with this free agent signing. Do you think it could have played out differently if they were the ones that picked him up? I believe that's what you're trying to say. If they were the ones that picked him up? No, I don't think so. I don't think at all. I think that you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yeah.
I think if Spy Tech brought him in and it was the same thing, they're going to move on from him. But also, I think this was Spy Tech and Pete Carroll setting the tone. Once again, like, look, Spy Tech's in year one, general manager. He's a guy that is very, very, very connected around the NFL, man. Very respected. I've told this story a million times, you guys. The entire Shrine Bowl week, guys were coming up to me because I was rated out, and they talked about Spy Tech over and over and over again. They didn't even mention Pete Carroll, and Pete Carroll was just hired. Spy Tech was the talk of talks. Everybody was coming up to be scouts. I met with one guy that was actually one of Spy Tech's best friends, and we text frequently about Spy Tech and the connection that they have. They work together down there in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
This is a guy, and he's setting the tone. Look, man, you want to play? Well, guess what? You're not going to play.
Yeah. You know what, man? That's a good question that he asked, because I did mention it earlier. Like, if we did have Telesco still in the building, I really think that he would still be in this building today, because I do think these GMs really, when they make a big acquisition like that, they're going to die on the hill with that.
Yeah.
So I think that, man, and it's hard to say. We can't speculate what kind of mindset Spy Tech has, but and even Telesco. But I like to think that, these GMs, when they make a big pick like that, they're going to die on the hill. So it's a likely chance that he could still be in the building if it was, Spy Tech still picking him up. I think that's a possibility.
No, you're right.
If Telesco was here, I think he'd still be here, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. If Telesco was here, yeah, definitely. I don't think that they would have moved on from him at all.
Yeah.
Because once again, I think that he'd be trying to save face a little bit, try and get him healthy and keep him around. But once again, the best ability is availability, right?
That's right.
Hug says, I slipped. That was only supposed to be 5 new members. Kids are going to have to break out the ramen now. Martin and Anthony, YouTube hates y'all. Love your Graph and Big Mike, Carpe Diem Kings. Salute to my brother Hug, man. We love you too, bro. We appreciate you a ton, man. Thank you so much. Man. And once again, you guys, as always, Tiff says, appreciate you too, Hug. The wife says, appreciate you for everything that you do for the channel. Once again, you guys, also, Mike has a membership. Become members over there. He's going to be doing a ton of film breakdown, like members only shows and stuff like that. So if you want to get exclusive content, make sure to jump over there and hit that button as well. Become a member and join that gang. Because I'm telling you now, Big Mike, when he gets to that film shit, it's different.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, we do the film breakdown, man. But I do need more members, man. I can't do a members only show if I got 10 of y'all. Just you know what I mean. Hey, go ahead and hit the membership, man. We got some things coming down the line. I do want to do some giveaways too, but I need for you guys' support, man.
Yeah, facts. Jesse Merrick also went on to say that Pratt has looked good out there. He said, I don't think he's meant as a full-time starter or anything like that, at least right now. It feels like it's going to be more packages for 2 of them. So I know yesterday or the other day they were talking about Pratt, Landon, and Devin White were out there together. So I don't know what this means. It's still really early. They're probably looking at different packages and so on and so forth, trying to see what's going to stick. But I got to disagree. I don't think he's meant to be a full-time starter. I think that's probably the best linebacker that we have on this roster. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I love a Landon in the run game, but I think Jermaine Pratt can be the best linebacker that we have in the building. Now, if we can get Devin White unlocked, maybe we're talking about a little something different here. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Trying to see. Pete Carroll goes on also to talk about Jamal Adams. I told him right off the bat, I want him to play inside. He's a fantastic blitzer. He looks really good. He looks like he's back. So Pete is hyping him up right now, Mike. Said he's stepping into the will linebacker spot for them. And I think does he have like 16 sacks in his career, I believe? I want to look that up. So he's not a stranger to getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he has 21 and a half. He has more than 16.
Yeah.
So, hey, he can definitely get to the quarterback. So I'm here for it. Let me get these supers in real quick before we finish up the tweets. Commitment to excellence is real. I'm so happy that the Raiders and the nation are finding its way back to it. Going to practice on Monday. Hopefully it's pads day. For what I'm hearing, next week pads are coming on, LV. So I think Sunday is the last practice. They take tomorrow off. They're back Sunday. And I think Monday will be the first day with pads on. I'm hearing next week is pads week.
Man,
so
nothing like the crack of the pads, man. Hey, that's gonna be great, man.
It's a beautiful sound, bro.
It is.
Beautiful sound. Salute to Ty. They chose Booger, Revenge of the Nerds, and Julian, all about the Benjamins over Farva. Super Troopers, nasty work. Salute to my brother Ty Davis, man. Stupid, bro. Salute to Chris as well. If a ruling favors Wilkins, do Raiders get fined? No, not at all. They just don't get that money back.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know.
I don't see a scenario where we don't get the money back.
I don't either. And maybe the NFLPA find a way to save face, and maybe they meet in the middle somewhere where, they come up with a number, a figure, and they just meet in the middle somewhere. But I don't see in any way, shape, or form the Raiders having to pay all this money when he refused to get a second surgery when it was needed. You know what I mean? So I make that make sense. Salute to Chris. Salute to my guy, man. Salute to the 900 people in the building. Our boy Wasted has the gout. This is facts, Walt. Facts. This is facts. And Walt, I don't have you blocked, man. I went back into the block set. I couldn't find you. I was backstage looking for it. Walt's not on there. I don't know. I haven't seen my boy Walt. I only see Walt when I do shows with you and Wasted. I don't see Walt anymore. So I don't know what's up. Let me see. That video sunk his ship. Hey, man, Zahn, you ain't never lied, my brother.
Yeah.
Never lied. Let's go across some things today outside of, let's keep talking about the presser for a second, but I want to talk about some plays that were made out there in Henderson today. I'm going to give him a real shot. This is about Jamal Adams. Said as everybody, he feels Jamal can be a real difference maker for their defense if he's the guy he thinks he is. So he's hyping up Jamal Adams right now. Coach Pete Carroll was really complimentary of Jonah, Laulu, and Tyree Wilson. Likes what he sees from both those guys and says they're in the mix. He's also expecting a lot from Tyree. We went over what he said about Tyree. The coverage downfield by the Raiders' first-team defense has been pretty good in team sessions at forcing Geno to hold on to the ball and buy time. But Geno is not afraid to tuck it and run. He just did for his score. So it's great to have a guy that can utilize his legs if need be. Smith.
Hey, I just had like a light bulb go off, man. And it's about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is a guy. I don't know if you knew, but he did courses at USC, like talking to students and things like that. He's really big in the motivation and competing in life. Not just on the football field, but just in life, right? How much more empowering from a player's perspective is your coach coming up to you and saying, hey, well, you saw what happened yesterday. You're our guy now.
Yeah.
I can see him saying that to I can't say his name, Laulu. Yeah, Jonah Laulu. Saying that to him and like, hey, you're our guy now. Yeah. How empowering is that, bro?
Yeah, Pete Carroll, a national champ and Super Bowl winning head coach, say that to a second-year guy after Max said this guy is so good and he doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah, bro, it's empowering, man. It's all mental thing. I think it was all calculated from Pete Carroll's perspective. Like, all right, he's our next guy. I gotta mention him in the presser. You know what I mean?
Here's a hot take, you guys. Here's a hot take, Mike.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, there's going to be a lot of Jonah Laulu jerseys out there.
I can see it. I might be one of them.
Me too. I'm here for it. Salute to Nav. At a minimum, this defense will be thumpers and short tacklers. This is facts. Sir. This is something we have sucked at for years, bringing back the old school. I love it because, once again, Pete is definitely preaching physicality. You don't bring in a Jamal Adams and expect him to be a cover guy. You expect him to be a guy that's going to come in and break somebody's fucking neck. That's what you bring in Jamal Adams for.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Facts. So I agree. This is why you bring Jeremy Chin in. This is why you bring Palomar back into the fold. These are guys that go out there and set the tone physically. You love to see it, man. I'm hyped, man. Nav, man, with a great comment. Appreciate you on the $5 special. Salute to James Moore, man. Graphk and BIGMIKE Raider. Salute to you, bro. Member for 47 months, my dog. That means a lot. My dog has been a member for many years. Salute to my guy, James. Day one, dude. Salute to Fudge on a $10 special.
Fudge in the building, man.
And once again, we don't know where these supers, what channel they're going to. We just appreciate you guys so much.
Appreciate it, man. Whoever it's to, man, for real.
Definitely appreciate you on the 10, and then salute to Hug as well on the $10 special. Losing his mind on today's show. Do yourself a favor after this live. Go watch Chin and Adams highlights. The highway of tutties, known as the middle of the Raiders defense, is officially closed. Nothing but beautiful Chin music. Talk.
Hey,
salute to my brother Hug. And salute to I hate this dude's name, Takeria Graph. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it. So Jonah Laulu ends the Jonah Laulu ends the season with 7 sacks. Book it.
Man, hey, that's like the West Coast version of Bodega Graph.
Bodega Graph. No, I think it's the same dude. I think it's the same dude. It's just the same default picture. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Salute to Taqueria Bodega Graph.
There you go.
Yeah. And salute to Nav. We don't know what channel it is, brother. We just appreciate you on becoming a member as well, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you guys want to become a member, like my guy, hit the links up top on both channels. It definitely helps us once again keep the lights on over here at ShieldMore. Let's go over a few more of these tweets, you guys. Lots of team ones versus ones today for the Raiders. They've been doing a lot of ones versus twos throughout the first couple of days. So it looks as though the starters are starting to get some repetition here against each other. Much better outing for the offense in the second red zone team session 1v1. Geno was on point, dropped it in the bucket to Tucker on a corner for the TD, then scrambled and found Mayer for a TD on the next play. Goes on to say 3 days into training camp. This is my favorite tweet. This is why I wanted to bring up Jesse's page. 3 days into training camp, and it looks like the Raiders are already running some scout team preparing for the Patriots. In my experience, you don't usually see teams do that this early, especially with the new staff still working install of base stuff. Good sign for the Raiders. Worth noting also, typically they don't game plan for preseason opponents, almost never from what I hear. So that is crazy to think that the Raiders are already preparing for New England right now with training camp just underway and 3 preseason games ahead before we see the Patriots. That's a great sign. Also, Geno's pocket presence on his second red zone team session, fire. Goes on to say they're going 1v1s in the red zone and the defense just won the first round. I just love to hear that the defense is doing good. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, like Lonnie Johnson had a pick 6 today. You want to hear that from a veteran guy that plays a ton of special teams. This is a guy that's trying to make this roster, right? Like you want to see that. And it was a red zone situation. So I believe Geno threw a pick there in the end zone and it would have been a pick 6 for Lonnie Johnson. That is what you need for these guys, the Lonnie Johnsons of the world. Trey Taylor, salute to my guy yesterday who got a pick. Those guys need that for their confidence, Big Mike. They need that because they want to make this roster. There's a ton of uncertainty with some of these guys trying to make the back end of this roster. It's a good sign that you see these guys getting picks early on.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, well, let's say the offense was dominating the whole time. Then you'd be concerned about the defense. Hey, you want to see both going at it, right? Last year we saw the defense kicking the offense's ass. All camp. Neither quarterbacks was looking good. So, hey, at least we're seeing some good news on both ends, man. That's what you got to look at.
Yeah. Also, man, hearing a ton about Ashton Jeanty. We've already talked about that a ton. Him in the passing game. It looks as though they're getting him heavily involved. They're looking at him as a 3-down back. And once again, as expected, you took him early in the first round at 6. So they don't want to keep him off the football field, which makes a ton of sense. And he had a great run today at practice as well. I forgot where the tweet is. I'll find it later on, but it looks as though he's performing at a high clip. Jeanty's one of those guys, though, Mike, when the pads come on, that's when he shines.
Yeah, he's going to be unstoppable, man. And I will say this. A lot of people are talking about how many yards he's going to run in the season.
Yeah.
I'm talking about all-purpose yards, man. I think over 1,600 all-purpose yards is in the cards for him.
I see more than that. 1,200 rushing. I had like 500 to 600 yards in the passing game.
I had about 400, but I like 600 better. That sounds a lot better.
There we go. And we also, once again, we talked about this is what he said about Jeanty. Jeanty is so smooth running through a defense. Really looking forward to seeing that kid in the pads. This is facts. And then once again, this is the 4th or 5th guy that mentioned that Laulu gets a first crack at the 3 technique with the number 1 defense. So it looks like at this point, it's Laulu's job to lose.
Yep.
So say that 5 times.
Nah. I ain't gonna even try.
Nah.
This not gonna can't even say his name by itself.
That shit is funny, man. Salute to my guy Lee in the building. I'm so hyped about this season. I started watching the games when we were playing against the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets in the playoffs. Salute to my guy, man. Yeah, I just literally the other night, I said this on Coffee and Convo, watched like 3 or 4 hours the other day of the 2016 highlights. I watched a ton. Like that was just like our last year where we really like thought the Raiders can really do something, right? Until
you
DC
couldn't tell me nothing, bro, about the Raiders going to the Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, we going.
Yeah,
we going.
And it was fun to watch because we won so many close games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, like some people say, oh, but they won so many close games. You can't get away with that in the playoffs. Man, look, bro, great teams win close games.
Yeah.
Simple and plain. You know what I'm saying? And they were doing it against some really good teams, the Baltimore Ravens,
Bucks in
Bucks.
overtime.
Yeah.
They played the Texans on in Mexico.
Yep.
They shouldn't have won that game. They pulled it off. Like, bro, Chargers in San Diego. Like, man.
It was a ton of close games. No, that wasn't 2016. What was it? 2017 when we beat the Chiefs when time expired? I think it was 2017.
That was 17.
2017, yeah. But there was a ton of close games that year. Titans game too. I was there. I was at that game.
Yeah. The Titans game, the Chargers game in Oakland.
Yep.
You know,
that was a
field goal. Like he missed a field goal or something like that. The Chargers missed.
Oh yes, time expired. The kicker. I mean, the holder dropped the ball.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
So still Lordy Jordy with all the divas in the league who only want to protect their bread. Dangerous tacklers will be a huge mental hurdle for other teams to overcome. Salute to my guy Jordy on the $5 special. He said, with all the divas in the league and only want to protect their bread, dangerous tacklers will be a huge mental. Yes. So he's talking about the physicality that this defense is going to have. Chat. I agree with you, Jordy. Salute to you on the $5 special. Let's get these supers in, you guys, before we get out of here. Oh, Lordy Jordy, hurdle, speak to text, play me. Like, we knew what you were trying to say, brother.
Yeah.
Junior, I'm taking Genty in the first round. I'm letting everybody know that right now. If I'm in any league with you guys and he's available, Genty's my guy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm taking him. So the Junior, man, appreciate you, brother. And then Yeti, my guy, also gifting 5. You guys went totally batshit today. Man, and I appreciate you guys so much, man. Thank you so much for all the constant support. Yeti, my brother, salute to you and salute to all the new members in the building because of my guy Yeti. If you guys want to become a member once again, the link is pinned up top. Other than that, Mike, what you got for us, man? We're over an hour. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here, man?
Yeah, this has been on my mind, bro. Jakobi Meyers. I'm tired of people saying that he's not a number 1 receiver.
Okay.
I'm really sick of people saying
shut me up then, because now I'm slowly starting to go to like a 1B from a high end.
He's a 1. He's a 1,
okay.
A bona fide 1.
Okay.
And I think people aren't saying he's not a 1 because he don't do a goofy dance. He's not a diva. He's not that, he's not that typical number 1 receiver that you see across the league complaining, holding out, things like that. He comes in and does his job.
Yes.
And he does it well, right? He even blocks well, right?
Oh,
how many receivers in the league can you say he's a number 1 receiver, but he's also committed to being a blocker? Yeah. We haven't seen nothing like that since Hines Ward with the Steelers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hines Ward came in and did his job and he was serviceable, right? He had some solid seasons, right? But if you ask any Steelers players about Hines Ward, they say that he was a legend.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So if we keep a guy like Jakobi Meyers for years to come until till he walks off, we're gonna be looking at him as he's that dude. He's the number 1. He's the guy.
If he has over 1,000 yards receiving this year, I'll take away everything I said about Jakobi being an option number 2. If he has, because he's 28 and he just had his first 1,000-yard receiving season. So there's a ton of question marks. And then once again, with Brock Bowers being a guy that's going to be so heavily involved in this offense, if Jakobi and they're saying already, Mike, several people out there in Henderson that Geno and Jakobi, that connection is already real. So I'm expecting, some big things from those two because you got Dante and Trey that can take the top off the defenses. That's going to allow Jakobi to eat up the middle of that football field because Jacoby's not the fastest wide receiver. But like you said, great route runner, great blocker. He does all the dirty work, man. Like he is just and he doesn't drop the football. I mean, it's just clear. He just dropped 1 last year. So, but if he has another 1,000-yard receiving season this year, I'll shut my mouth and I will say Jacoby's a number 1. But with Brock Bowers on the roster, it's difficult to say anybody else.
Hey, that bracket coverage is going to be real for Brock Bowers this season. So you gotta look for a guy like Jakobi Meyers and let people keep sleeping on him, man. Because he's going to be wide open. But I'm airing dudes up in the process. So
Jack Besh is literally Jakobi Meyers. I'm telling you now, and I think it's gonna be pretty clear that later on down the line he'll be better than that. I'm telling y'all now, he's gonna be a phenomenal football player for us. Great blocker again, not the fastest guy, but a great route runner, and once again doesn't drop the football. They literally drafted like a Jakobi clone that's a former tight end, physical guy. You know what I mean? Like, he is going to be a stud for us, Mike. I'm telling you, man.
53 Jakobis will win you a Super Bowl.
Talk.
I'm just saying. So if we got 2, it's a good start.
Yeah.
So
and 53 Christian Wilkins won't.
Exactly.
Yo, other than that, you guys, as always, we appreciate you guys so much for pulling up on us on this beautiful morning. Salute to my brother Mike. We will be doing this show weekly, you guys. So we will have a Graphk and Mike and Graphk show every week moving forward. So stay tuned. Plug away, Mike. Let everybody know where to follow you at, what you got going on before we get out of here, brother.
Yeah, you can go find me, Big Mike Raider. Big Mike, one word. Raider, the second word. Do a search. It's the first thing that pops up. When you get there, like the thumb, hit the sub, and share with your folks. And then, hey,
Raider,
Big Mike Raider, and become a member, man. Go ahead, become a member of the Big Mike Raider fleet. Welcome aboard. Hey, come on, man. Support, man.
There you go. Salute to our brother Big Mike once again, a phenomenal football mind. Go over there, subscribe to him. Let's get him to 3,000 subscribers, you guys, before the season gets here. Actually, let's do that before preseason game 1 when we go up to Seattle and face Pete Carroll's former team. Okay. Other than that, you guys, I'll be taking tomorrow off. I think the Raiders are taking tomorrow off as well. So my boys, we're doing a birthday party for him tomorrow. So and then Sunday, I believe the Raiders return to Henderson to for training camp. So we'll be back to cover that as well. And then Monday, me and Hammer are going to be doing the show. And then Tuesday, the AFC West show will be back. So you guys, we are active. So every single day, expect something from ShieldMore. If it's not all of us, if it's not 3 of us, if it's not 2 of us, it's always going to be 1 of us dropping that content constantly. So stay tuned. Punchy, no new album from me, brother. But I will be dropping some songs. So stay tuned. Not gonna be doing no full-length albums, but I will be dropping some singles. I just got to get out to Vegas. My brother Fingers is waiting on me. He's like, bro, you are bullshitting. I'm supposed to be out there to get this Raider anthem together and some other things. Stay tuned. I got some stuff on the way, Punchy.
Man, if you do, man, I need that new intro, man.
Oh, come on. Come on, man. I got you, my brother. Yeah. Salute to L11. Great live, fellas. We appreciate you. I think that's the best way to end this show. Salute to my guy, L11. Appreciate you. And salute to everybody in the building. On the way out, wipe them feet. You already know, like the thumbs and hit that subscribe button. If you guys are not subscribed yet, we will see you guys very, very soon. Love y'all. We are out. 1.